Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Sharp 6 o'clock. We are here. One thing we should appreciate, right? That everyone has woken up at 6 o'clock on a Sunday. Imagine Sunday morning getting up at 6 o'clock. I mean, not even 6 o'clock. What? You would have got up at 5 o'clock and you're here now. Yes. Now, we finished one chapter that is mergers and acquisition. We'll go into the next chapter that is security valuation. Now, what we are going to do over here is security valuation and business valuation are going to be done together. There are a lot of interconnected topics, and you will understand as we go further. There are so many things. Whatever happens in security valuation, maybe little more will happen in business valuation. Okay. So we will connect both these topics and we will do. Only thing that we will keep out of security valuation is bonds. Bonds, preference shares, debentures and all. There is a separate methodology for calculating those things. There are extra things that we need to worry about or learn about, risk and all that. So that we will keep out of security valuation. So we'll connect security valuation and business valuation. That itself will be close to like 100 problems. Okay. Somewhere around 100 problems. This security valuation itself, just RTPs came up to 60. Because security valuation, what they are doing, every RTP they are keeping two questions from security valuation. Maybe one of them will be bonds, one of them will be normal. Okay, but there is around 60. Examination questions we have not even seen. Okay, then business valuation also we have to solve. So somewhere around 100, 110 questions only. Okay, we are going to solve in class. No homework, as we already discussed, no homework. For CA final, this is only your home. Okay, here only we are going to solve everything. Now, let's start. Okay, I'll give you time to write. We'll be discussing concepts now. Now, let's assume that here we have Nitish. Okay, spelling is wrong, huh? Yes, we have Nitish. Okay, he wants to start business. He wants to start business. Now, imagine if he has to start business from zero. There is lot of effort required. Okay, he likes ice cream, not Olympics torch. Okay, ice cream it is. Even I felt after drawing, oh, it looks like Olympic torch. No. That once in 4 years, this only will become Olympic torch. Okay, now, ice cream. He likes ice cream. So he decided, let me start ice cream business. If he has to start ice cream business, don't you think he has to invest on everything from zero? And he has to also learn how to make ice cream. So he has to learn how to make ice cream and he has to invest in all the infrastructure, machinery, everything that is required from zero. Workers also he has to get who has knowledge about all these things. So it will take some time. Yes, good morning online students. Okay, now he sees one shop. Naturals. Okay, he sees one shop, naturals. He's like, oh, these people are already doing business. They are already doing business. Let me go to them and make a deal. Let me go to them and make a deal. Okay, let me buy naturals itself. Instead of starting an ice cream company from zero, let me buy naturals itself. Clear? Now, when he wants to go and buy naturals, what he has to do? He has to pay them money. When he has to pay them money, he needs to know what is the value of naturals. Correct? He needs to know how much is the value of naturals business. That amount I'll pay. Now I become the owner. Before there was one chair over here. The owner of naturals is going to sit. Okay, now he wants to remove that guy from that chair and he wants to go and sit on that chair. Clear? For sitting on that chair, there is some value he needs to fix. Clear? When you are talking about valuation, there are multiple techniques. Okay, there are multiple techniques. First one, can you see over here? Asset-based valuation. So now what will Nitish do? He will go and have a meeting with the person who is sitting on the chair. Correct? The person who is sitting on the chair, he'll go and have a meeting. Now, naturals person will tell, I have 5 buildings. He will tell, I have 5 buildings. Those 5 buildings also will become Nitish building now. Okay. So he's like, okay, those 5 buildings also is mine. Then he will tell, I have 10 plant and machinery. Those 10 plant and machinery also will become Nitish. Correct. Then he will see, okay, there are some furnitures. 100 furnitures are there. Clear? Nitish will be like, okay, very good. We'll fix a value for that. That also becomes mine. Now, don't you think there is also one loan? There is one loan. So this fellow sitting on this chair will tell, loan was mine, but business is yours. So now loan is also yours. Correct? He will tell, no, business is yours, loan is also yours. So now loan also has to be taken over by Nitish. Are you getting my point? So these are the assets that are taken over by Nitish, and this is the liability that is taken over by Nitish. Is this clear? So net whatever comes, that is the amount that he has to pay. He is getting so much assets, but he will also have to spend some money to pay one loan. So now what happens? Whatever value he thought he is going to get, that much value will reduce because he has to pay the loan there. So this is asset based valuation. Asset based valuation. What is Nitish doing? Nitish is just going in and saying, what and all you have, all that is mine. What and all you have there, all that is mine. Is this clear? So on that basis, he is going to fix a value. He is going to fix a value for naturals, and he is going to take over naturals, and he is going to throw this person out with this leg also. And then he is going to sit. He is going to sit on that chair. Is this clear? To sit on that chair, what is the value that he needs to pay? That is what he is going to compute. Is this clear? And for computing that, we have taken asset-based valuation techniques. Now, tell me one thing. Here, can you see net asset value, net realizable value, net replacement value? 3 things can you find over here? Under asset-based valuation techniques, we have 3. Either you take net asset value, net realizable value, or net replacement value. Now, can you see net asset value here? Book value of assets less book value of liabilities. Book value of asset minus book value of liability. Clear? That means whatever is there in the book, Nitish is going to trust those values, and that is the value that is going to be fixed. Can it be realistic? Is it realistic? No. Is it possible? No. Now imagine the owner of naturals, he had purchased one amazing chair. Owner of naturals had purchased one amazing chair. The book value of this chair, 1 lakh. Book value of this chair is 1 lakh. Okay. Now, like crazy chair it is. If you lean back, you will get even little massage also. Okay. Full hi-fi chair it was. 1 lakh rupees was the book value. Now, if you take net asset value based on book values, what will happen? You will have to fix a value of 1 lakh. He's like, okay, building cost 20 lakhs, I have to pay you 20 lakhs. Furniture 1 lakh in your books, I have to pay you 1 lakh. Plant and machinery 10 lakh, I have to pay you 10 lakhs. There is one loan of 5 lakhs, so I'll reduce that and I'll pay you the money. Correct? This is what will happen in valuation. I'm going to see what and all is there. I will fix values for all that, and then I'll reduce if there is any liability, and then net amount I'll pay it to you. Now, this whatever chair which is there, no? The chair which is there, it has become like this. It has become like this, and this is the floor. Now what happens? Now what happens? Do you think whatever is showing in the books, 1 lakh, will he get that same value when he goes to market? When he goes to sell it? Correct? Books should show true and fair view. Based on this true and fair view, only one full subject only you have. Correct? Books should show true and fair view. Correct. Now book is showing 1 lakh. So should I pay 1 lakh? Yes. But look at what has happened to the chair. 1 leg is long, 1 leg is short. Correct? Because of that, whenever he sits, it becomes like this. It becomes like that. Correct? Now, if he goes to market, okay, if he goes to market. When he goes to market for this chair, he will get only 70,000. For this chair, he will get only 70,000. Now, if you are Nitish, what will you do? Will you tell, okay, I am ready to pay 1 lakh for this because in your books it is showing 1 lakh? Or will you tell, hey, if I go to market and sell it, I'm going to get only 70,000. That means the right value for this chair right now is only 70,000. I'm ready to pay only 70,000. What will you do? You'll pay only 70,000. That is when net realizable value method was born. Clear? Here can you see realizable value of assets minus outside liabilities. Realizable value of assets. That means whatever you are able to realize from the assets, only that will be taken. Okay, that value will be considered. So this is the situation. Clear? Now, imagine market I am going to get only 70,000. But I don't have any plan of selling the chair. I want the chair. It's a beautiful chair. I want to sit on that chair. I don't want to sell the chair. But understand this. When I'm having a situation like this, if at all I want this chair, now this chair is looking like this, no, 1 leg long, 1 leg short. It is creating some trouble. I want same type of chair from the market I want to buy. Can I buy it at 70,000? Can I buy it at 70,000? No. I can sell this chair in the market and get 70,000 rupees. That is our net realizable value. I can realize 70,000 rupees when I sell this chair. Clear? But if I want same type of chair means obviously I'll not go and buy a chair where 1 leg is long and 1 leg is short. I'll buy a good proper condition chair. So if I want same type of chair, same model chair, same features which has, okay, that time what will happen? I will go to market and buy a chair. Buy a similar chair in market. If I have to buy a similar chair in market, I have to pay some money. Let's say this chair right now in the market, it costs 1,20,000. Costs 1,20,000 in the market. Is this clear? This is net replacement cost of asset. If this chair is replaced and you are going to get a new chair, and that is the replacement cost of asset. So if you're calculating based on net replacement value, that will be 1,20,000. If you would calculate on book value, it would have been 1 lakh. And if you are calculating on market, that is net realizable value, it would have been 70,000. Is this clear? Are you getting this? Here what I am telling, I am like, I don't want this chair. I don't want this chair. Okay, but if at all this chair is replaced, what will I have to pay? 1,20,000. That time you will take the replacement cost of the assets. Is this clear? Now, these are the three asset-based valuation techniques. One is book value, okay, which is very, very rare in practical world. Do you think anybody will agree for book value? It doesn't make sense at all. Okay, imagine you have a land. Okay, imagine naturals people, they have a land. Okay, on this land, they have trees. The coconut trees are there. From these coconut trees only they are getting the coconuts, and then they are making the tender coconut ice cream. This land is there. Very fertile land it is. Correct? In the books, this land is showing 2 lakhs. Because they had purchased this land once upon a time. They had purchased this land once upon a time. Now, imagine the market value of this land is 30 lakhs. Market value of this land is 30 lakhs. Clear? Now, as a buyer, Nitish will be very happy to go with books. He'll be like, book it is 2 lakh. I will take book value route only. Correct? Let's make a deal for 2 lakh itself. Correct? But what will naturals person tell? No. For this land, if I have to give you this land, you have to give me 30 lakh rupees. Then only we will have a deal. Can you see? So both sides people are affected. If at all asset is undervalued, one guy will be happy. Asset is overvalued, other guy will be happy. So basically both have to come to the common ground. Okay. So if at all it was 2 lakhs over here and market value is 30 lakhs, obviously naturals people will not give the asset to Nitish at 2 lakhs. They will tell 30 lakh is the value of this land. That goes to net realizable value now. Are you getting this? Replacement values usually don't come for land and all. It comes for machineries. You have a machinery, but you have to conduct business. This is very old. Now, what value should you pay? Replacement value. Is this clear? So now, in this case, understand this. Imagine the land was not, market value was not 30 lakhs. Market value was 50,000. Market value was 50,000 for this land. Sir, how, sir, it became 50,000? Land usually appreciates. Now, next to this land was actually a river. Next to this land was actually a river. If there is a river next to the land, oh, it should be even more, no? Are you getting my point? It should be even more. But this, because of this river, no, next to the land, 6 months only you can see the coconut trees fully. Other 6 months, no. There will be water. Are you getting my point? Next to the river, because of extreme flooding situations and all, the river is getting expanded during the rainy season, and you can see only this much of the coconut trees during the rainy season. Because of that, market value for this land has gone down. Okay, it is only 50,000. Now, if you are a person, okay, if you are Nitish, what will you do? Will you agree for the 2 lakh which is there in the books? No, now Nitish only, now naturals will be very happy. Book value 2 lakhs. Take it at 2 lakhs. They'll be very happy, correct? But now Nitish will be like, no. Book value I don't want. I will take it at the realizable value, which is 50,000. Is this clear? So now, in practical situations, net asset value, net realizable value, net replacement value, based on the practical condition, seeing the asset, what is happening, both will come to a common ground. But in exams, if they ask you in a particular method, you'll have to calculate in that particular method only. Is this clear? Are you following this? So if it is net asset value, what is the value you will get? Book value of assets minus outside liabilities. Remember, we used to calculate book value in mergers and acquisitions chapter. There we had liability side approach, asset side approach. It was same thing, no? Asset side approach was assets minus liabilities. But we are obviously going to ignore the fictitious assets. Imagine P&L debit balance is there. P&L debit balance is sitting on the asset side. Now naturals person will tell, take this also and give me money for this. Will Nitish agree for this? No. There is some preliminary expense. Preliminary expense was incurred by naturals when they set up the business. Now you'll be like, this is also there on asset side, you take this also and give me money. Will he agree for this? No, that means automatically in a valuation deal, no, the fictitious assets will get out of the situation. It will not be part of the situation only. Are you getting my point? They will disagree. Why will you pay money for the loss which is accumulated before you came? Are you getting my point? That is none of your business. Okay, now net asset value, book value as assets minus outside liabilities. If it is net realizable value of assets minus outside liabilities. If it is replacement value, replacement cost of assets minus outside liabilities. Is this clear? These are the 3 things. Now, note, ICA wing ICA may use these 3 terminologies interchangeably and doesn't strictly follow the exact interpretation. They don't use exactly tell this. They just use the words interchangeably. They'll use the words. That time in exams, irrespective of what NAV, NRV or NRW means, word is used. If market value of asset is given, then it must be taken into account for valuation. Once upon a time, guys, you were in a course called as CA Inter. Okay. There was one chapter called as amalgamation. In amalgamation, you had first, before you learned what which type of amalgamation and all, first thing that you learned was purchase consideration, computation of purchase consideration. In that, you had a method called as net asset method, which is nothing but this only. But you would not take book value, you would take the market value. Net asset method, what we used to do? Asset minus outside liabilities. Asset taken over minus liabilities taken over. Correct? Now here, what value we used to take? If nothing is there, you should take book value. If nothing is mentioned in the question, we'll take book value. But if we have values, market values, then we'll take market value. That means basically you're supposed to take agreed value. You're supposed to take the agreed value, and obviously you will come to an agreement on the market value itself. Clear? If market value is high for the asset, the seller, the potential seller will tell, I want this. If market value is low, the buyer, potential buyer will tell, I am not ready to pay this. I will pay only this. Are you getting my point? So both will come to a common ground. So basically what we have to understand, if nothing is mentioned in the question, but they told asset based valuation and they said net asset value, net realizable value, or whatever it might be. But if market value is given in the question, then for such assets you will take the market value only for valuation. Is this clear? Are you following this? Any doubt with this? No. Now, understand this. Nitish is standing over here having a look at Naturals. Naturals gave their financial statement. Naturals gave their financial statement and told, look at this and you decide what value you want to pay. And then they had a negotiation. Okay, this one furniture so much. Then they came to a common ground. Below their financial statement, there was one line. What is that line? Below their financial statement, one line will be there. Contingent, correct? Contingent liability. Here they have told contingent liability 5 lakhs. One case is there. Once when Naturals, what they were doing, Naturals, the crowd, right? Okay, it is always crowded. So one day they were giving tender coconut ice cream. The guy who was supplying, he was too many orders he was having, so he had to give many different ice creams, tender coconut and then jackfruit and so many other things he had to give. So when he was giving the ice cream, suddenly, not his fault, suddenly one cockroach came and fell on that ice cream. Cockroach came and fell on that ice cream. He didn't notice. He kept tissue under that and gave. Correct? The person, he was so engrossed in talking to someone else, he also ate. He also ate the cockroach, ice cream with the cockroach toppings. Okay, he ate it. Now when he ate it, ice cream usually is soft in texture. Something different he felt in his mouth. When he felt different, he removed that cockroach and he saw only leg was remaining thing already is swallowed. Now this leg he preserved, went and filed a case on Naturals. Now 5 lakh rupees compensation is asking. For 100 rupees ice cream, 5 lakh rupees compensation is asking. Clear? He's like, I am vegetarian. Okay, you made me eat cockroach. Okay, which is so unfair. Now I have to get compensation. Is it possible? Arey, cockroach can fly and come. You are thinking how cockroach came flying. Cockroach, when it is going on the ground, it knows exactly which direction it wants to go. It knows I want to go straight, then take a left, then right. It knows the directions. But when it is flying, cockroach doesn't know the direction. Because cockroach knows to fly. When it flies, cockroach will realize that, oh, I know to fly. And then it will fly in random direction. And then it fell on the ice cream. Are you getting my point? And this person ate the ice cream. That person has filed a case. Case is still going on. And here at the foot of the balance sheet, we are seeing contingent liability. Contingent liability or contingent asset is always supposed to be shown at the foot of the financial statement. That means outside the financial statement. Correct? When it becomes, if it is not contingent, that means it is going to be a liability. Then you create provision for it. And that provision comes inside the balance sheet. That you would have considered when you're doing asset minus outside liabilities. Clear? Now there is one contingent liability sitting over here. Tell me one thing. If Nitish pays that money and sits on this chair, if he sits on this chair, all assets are his. All assets are his. All liabilities are also his. For here, he has already considered all that. And the case is also on his side now. Are you getting my point? All assets are his. All liabilities are his. For that, he has already done the valuation. But the case is also his only. Case will be on his head. So whenever the judgment of that case comes, that time, if at all he has to pay 5 lakhs, that falls on whose head? Nitish head. So now, if at all there are contingent liabilities in the question, what you are supposed to do? Understand this. How to treat contingent liabilities? How to treat contingent liabilities? First, question uses a general language such as, there is high chance of materializing. They will tell contingent liability and they will tell there is a high chance of materializing. That means there is a high chance that you have to pay 5 lakhs. Are you getting my point? There is a high chance. They are not giving absolute assurance. They are giving reasonable assurance. Okay, there is a high chance of materializing. Deduct from where? When you are doing asset minus liability, deduct this also. Why? There is a high chance that this will also be a liability on your head, and there is a high chance that there will be outflow of resources. You have to pay money for this. Clear? So deduct it. If they tell there is low or remote probability of materializing, ignore and give a note. That's it. Low and remote probability. Now, after initially there was high chance only, but Nitish has crazy contact with lawyers. Okay, he knows the lawyer who has won some top cases in the country. He went and told him, there is like this, I'm buying one business and they already have one case on them. That case now I have to look after. Now what do I do? He said, what is the case? Someone ate cockroach and they filed a case for compensation. He said, you are talking about cockroach death. There are people who are killed over here. Those murderers only are roaming freely in the world over there. Okay, those cases only they did not lose. You think this cockroach murder, you will be going to jail? Don't worry at all. Compensation, nothing. I will fight this case. I'll ensure that 1 rupee also you don't have to pay. Clear? Is it clear? Now, is there a low or remote probability of materializing? Low or remote probability of materializing? There is no chance. You feel that there is no chance. Clear? Ignore and give a note. Ignore it. Don't even write it. Okay, don't even consider it. Just give a note later. Assume that as it is having low or remote chance of materializing, it is not considered as a liability, or it is not considered for the purpose of valuation. Is this clear? Now, sometimes probability of materializing of contingent liability is given, say 60%. Now they tell in the question, okay, they are telling there is a case 5 lakh compensation. 5 lakh is the compensation. Is this clear? And they are telling you there is a chance, 80% chance is there that you lose the case. 80% probability that you lose the case. Now what will you do? You know probability, right? So you will do 5 lakh into 80% and you will take 4 lakh. You will reduce or deduct 4 lakhs when you're calculating the value of the business. Is this clear? They said what? 80% chance, whatever it might be. Example, I think I wrote 60. It can be 60, 70, 80, 20, 30, anything. There is a particular percentage of chance that they have told that there might be a situation you have to pay. So that time you will deduct. But how much will you deduct? Contingent liability into probability of materializing. Contingent liability into probability of materializing. What if question is silent? They didn't tell anything. They didn't use these words. High chance of materializing or low or remote probability of materializing. They didn't use those words only. Then you have to trust your confidence. You have good lawyer, remote. You have bad lawyer. You had one lawyer. All the evidence was given to him. Still he lost the case. Okay, you have such lawyer. Then what you will do? 2 alternatives left to you. Deduct, assuming contingent liability will materialize in full. Ignore, assuming that it has remote chance of materializing. Remote chance of materializing, and give a note. And give a note. Both are correct. ICA will give you marks for both. But you have to give a note. Is this clear? So, contingent liability, what we are going to do? What are we going to do for contingent liability? If at all they tell there is what is a great chance of materializing, high chance of materializing. High chance means what? They are telling you there is high chance that you lose the case. High chance of materializing is what? They are telling high chance that you lose the case. If you have to lose the case, you'll have to pay the amount. That time you will take that and you will deduct that also. When you are subtracting outside liabilities, even this you will consider as the liability and you'll subtract it. Clear? If they tell remote chance of materializing, that means you are not going to lose the case. Not going to know. There is less chance that you lose the case. So ignore it. You're going to ignore it. Clear? Then finally, if they give you probability, they're like 60% chances that you lose the case. So whatever amount is there, multiply into 60% and that amount you take. Finally, if they don't tell anything, but they have written contingent liability in the question, they have not told anything. That time what will you do? You take any assumption. If you feel high chance, write the note and deduct it. Otherwise, ignore it and write the note. Now, if you just miss it in the question and you have not taken it and you got the answer, that is actually one of the answers, but they will not give you marks. You have to write the note. Is this clear? If they have not given, now they told there is high chance of materializing. You ignored it and told there is remote chance of, assume that there is remote chance of materializing. That's why it is ignored. Can you do that? No. When they tell, you can't give alternative assumption. When they tell, you have to take that assumption only. No. Now, if they don't tell anything, then you take any assumption and you're going to consider. Clear? Now, I have one. I'll give you time. I'll give you time to write whatever is written in the sides and all. I'll give you time to write. You can write it. Wait. Okay. Now, imagine in the assets, there will be investments also. No. In the assets, when you're taking asset minus liability, there are investments also. What about those things? What about those things? Before you think about those things actually have two types. One is non-trade investments. Other one is trade investments. Do you agree? Non-trade investments and trade investments. Can you tell me the meaning? What is non-trade investment? What is trade investment? Trade investment, the meaning is related to your business. Non-trade investment is, don't write, I'll give you time to write. Understand. Don't write anything. I'll give you enough time to write. Don't worry. Not related to your business. Is this clear? Investments, they are of two types. Trade investment, non-trade investment. Clear? Trade investment means related to your business. Non-trade investment means not related to your business. If you have to take example. Clear? Now imagine Nitish was doing one ice cream business. Okay, he was doing ice cream business. He took franchisee of Baskin Robbins. He paid 20 lakhs. He took franchisee of Baskin Robbins. He has invested money there. Okay, now is it trade investment or non-trade investment? Trade investment for him. Clear, related to his trade. Because of that, he can also sell Baskin Robbins ice cream along with these ice creams. Now, invested in mutual funds, 30 lakhs. What is this? Non-trade investment. You are not an investment company. You are not having investment business. Your day-to-day activity is not buying and selling investments. Your activity is actually selling ice creams. And when you are selling ice creams, you got surplus cash. When you got surplus cash, what did you do? You invested it in mutual funds. Clear? No, this is non-trade investment. Something related to your trade, you took up a franchise or something, that is trade investment. Now tell me, what should be the treatment? Should you include, when you're doing, no, over here, you're writing asset minus liability. When you're doing asset minus liability, should you include trade investments and non-trade investments, or should you include non-trade investment only or trade investment only? What should you do? This is related to your business. This is not related to your business. Should you include only this 20 lakhs in your asset calculation, or should you include this 30 lakhs also in your asset calculation? What do you feel? We should take both. We should take both. Why? Why we should take both? When we are taking over the business, whatever is there over there is taken by me. Whatever is there over there is taken by me. Don't you think I will take this 20 lakhs? I will take this franchisee also. So that I have to pay for that. I will take this mutual funds also, because mutual funds is in the name of naturals. So I'll take over those mutual funds also will come into my custody. Don't you think I have to pay 30 lakhs for that as well? Are you getting my point? Basically, asset-based valuation means whatever assets are there over there which I'm going to take, I have to pay money for that. And non-trade investments also will come into my custody. So I have to pay money for that as well. So don't get confused. ICAI will give in the exam investments, non-trade investments, trade investment, both they will be given. If they give also, both the investments will be considered when you're doing asset minus outside liabilities. Because even if it is non-trade investment, not even related to their business, they have invested somewhere. You have to pay money not for that to come into your custody. Don't you think when asset minus liability deal is happening, okay, land, building, plant and machinery, investment will also be handed over. That time you have to fix a value for that as well. So this also will be considered. Clear? Now see, value of non-trade investments must be included as part of valuation. Must be included as part of valuation. Is this clear? Now, tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. What if in the question they only tell investments? What if in the question they only tell investments? They don't tell trade, non-trade and all. That time what will you do? Huh? No, we have to take only. We have to take. But will you assume it as trade investment or will you assume it as non-trade investment? Because when you go further to other techniques, there is a different way of treatment for this. Now, if they just tell investment, asset-based valuation, you'll take it. Doesn't matter to us at all. Now, if they tell investment, always assumed as non-trade investment. If it is trade investment, they will tell you, no, not trade. If it is always assumed as non-trade investment. If it is trade investment, they will tell you. Are you getting my point? If it is trade investment, they'll 100% tell you. If they don't tell you, that means it is considered as non-trade investment. Is it clear? So this is your first valuation technique, that is asset-based valuation. Okay. Now, asset-based valuation, net asset value, net realizable value, net replacement value. Okay. Note, what is the note we have to remember? They might use the words interchangeably, but if market value is given, always assets will be taken at market value only. And contingent liability, how are we going to treat contingent liability? If they tell there is a high chance, then you are going to deduct it. If they tell there is a remote chance, ignore it. If they give you probability, multiply the probability and take the value. Okay. If they don't tell anything, you take any of the assumptions but give a note. Clear? Then non-trade investment will also be considered. Now, wait, I'll give you time to write. Wait. Now, imagine Nitish is standing over here. Now he's not looking at naturals. He's not looking at naturals. He is looking at one audit firm. He's looking at one audit firm. Now, when he's looking at that audit firm, let's say they have building which is on rent. They have building which is on rent. That means he will not become owner of that building. Correct? They have computers which is on lease. That means computers also they have taken it on lease. That means if he purchases that audit firm, if he goes and sits on the chair of the owner in this audit firm, he will not be the owner of the building. So we cannot take it as asset over here. Nothing. They have computers which are taken on lease, so he will not even be the owner of those computers. When lease term is over, he has to give it back. There also is paying lease rent. Clear? Now, after that, he has furnitures which is also taken on rent. Clear? Loan nil. They don't have any loan. Now you are like, oh sir, very easy this sir. Asset 0, liability 0. I will become the owner of this audit firm for 0 value. Is that correct? Is that correct? Are you going to be the owner of this audit firm? You are going to tell, okay, I want to buy your business. Assets, nothing. Liabilities, nothing. So 0, I will pay you 0 value, kick you out of that chair, and I will go and sit on that chair. Is it possible? Is it possible? No. That means in this kind of businesses, asset valuation doesn't make sense at all. In this kind of business, asset valuation doesn't make sense at all. Now, what you're going to look at, what is the earning of this audit firm? What is the earnings of this audit firm? That is why we go into the next step, that is earnings-based valuation. Clear? Till now what we were doing, asset-based valuation. Then we go into earnings-based valuation. Okay, imagine there is one guy standing on the road. What is this? Pani Puri. Okay, Pani Puri guy. You go and ask him, I want to take over your business. I want to buy your business. Tell me what and all assets you have. He's standing barefoot. Even chappal he doesn't have. He's standing barefoot. You're doing asset-based valuation for that guy. Are you getting my point? Every day, whatever money comes, that he will go, little he will keep aside to make the pani puri for next day. No assets at all. He is staying in rented premises somewhere. Now, can you do asset-based valuation for this guy? But if you ask him his earnings, then some of you might think, why are we doing CA also? That's a different thing if you ask his earnings. But here the valuation will be done earnings-based. Here the valuation will be done earnings-based. Is this clear? So our next topic that we are going to discuss is earnings-based valuation. Clear? Yes.